What is up, guys? My name is Sick Regan, and we are back on F1 24 Driver Career. This is Season 1, Episode 11 for the Belgian Grand Prix. Coming up.
That ERS failure must have been infuriating. We should focus on upgrades to our powertrain. That should help reduce the likelihood of faults like these cropping up again in the future.
We have very little time between races, coming off the race in Hungary, where we were able to take away points at a track that we always knew was going to be difficult to score at with the characteristics of our car at the moment. Qualifying well was the key to our success in the last race, as passing was at a premium around the Hungaroring. Let's get our specialist goals all set for Spa. This is a track that we should have much better performance at. With the long Kemmel straight in Sector 1 and the long straights in Sector 3, it's a much lower downforce circuit than Hungary was. Much better suited to the characteristics of our car. We can really take advantage of our straight line speed and a circuit that's much easier to overtake at. If we take a look at the rivalries, Perez is still ahead despite his DNF in the last race. Although I think his bigger concern is having fallen 52 points back of his teammate in the Drivers' Championship. Alonso has moved himself up into second in the Drivers, but he's 48 points back of Verstappen, despite coming in second in Hungary. We do have one potential upgrade going into Spa, and it's a major engine power upgrade.
Mate, I'm pleased to say that our new parts have come through without any issue, so they'll be on the car ready for the next race.
So a major engine power upgrade going into Spa is huge, and that has the knock-on effect of now we can put on an ERS upgrade. You've got to be kidding me. We are 1 point short of starting development on the ERS systems. So frustrating. Let's head to the race weekend. So we finished the practice programs and we have 751 resource points. Looks like we're going to have some weather for qualifying. Heavy rain to moderate rain, at least in the early stages. Going to make it a little bit trickier to qualify well. Can now afford to go put that ERS upgrade on. Looks like Hulkenberg has 2 chassis upgrades, a weight reduction and a weight redistribution going. We also have a tire wear upgrade on the way. But let's go get that ERS upgrade into development, since we had to wait a couple days until after we finished the practice programs to have enough resources. And now it's going to come in a few days after Monza, so we're $1 short and a day late. We're going to have to take the risk and rush it. That's too big of an upgrade to not have at Monza. Extra battery power around the Temple of Speed. Yeah, it's worth the risk. And Hulkenberg has quite a raft of upgrades coming. So we should be moving up the development chart over the next several races. Ferrari bring an upgrade package to Belgium that vaults them past McLaren for second best on the grid. Mercedes bring an upgrade package, as do ourselves and V-Carb. The rest of the teams are static. Let's head to qualifying.
High-speed straights, heady elevation changes and dramatic corners. What is there not to love about today? It's qualifying day here at Spa Francorchamps.
Okay, guys, everyone be aware, the car's ready to go.
So I waited as long as I could in Q1 to head out, as the rain has lightened significantly since the start of the session. These are the best conditions we are going to get, at least at this part of qualifying. And the pressure is on now, as we do not have a lap time on the board. There's only time enough for this lap, so we have to make it happen now. As we go up Eau Rouge Radion, nearly lose the car on the exit of Radion, but we managed to hold on to it. This is the first lap we're doing in the rain around Spa, as all of the practice sessions.
2 minutes left in this session and we're in the drop zone. We need a quick lap or that's qualifying over for us.
Had been dry, so we're feeling out the grip and trying to find the limit as quickly as we can, but trying to be cautious enough that we don't make a mistake that'll cost us our lap, or worse, cost us the car. I am running fairly low wings, so I need to keep that in mind as I head through Sector 2. Very cautious through Pouan. I didn't know how much grip we were going to have through the double left-hander, as getting the setup right around Spa can be tricky, as it's always a compromise. as we run a little bit wide on the exit of turn 13. Just touch the gravel into Stavolo.
We've dropped to P20.
And we have a big slide through Stavolo. And I decided to go with the lower downforce setup to be faster in sectors 1 and 3. So we won't be as fast through sector 2 during the race. But I really wanted to put a premium on being able to overtake as we head into the bus stop chicane to finish our lap. As time ticks down to under a minute left, we get some wheel spin on the exit to the line, and that'll put us up into second. But there are a lot of cars behind us on lap as Alonso tops the session, followed by Hamilton and Sainz. And we have to check, and we just make it through into Q2 by the skin of our teeth in 15th.
Checks complete. Everyone be aware, we've got a car leaving the garage.
So apparently the track was drying out quite significantly toward the end of Q1, as a lot of the cars behind us put in much better lap times. We are lucky to be here in Q2. We had to wait until the end of the session again for the track to dry out enough for us to use the slicks. So as we head into Eau Rouge Raidillon, we take a little bit of a lift. I'm not sure that the grip is totally there yet, that the track is completely dried. I was pleased to see that Hulkenberg was able to make it out of Q1, so hopefully he can get his season turned around in the final 6 races. As we're sliding around a little bit through the Les Comps chicane, but the track is getting there. It's definitely ramping up. As we run a little bit wide out of turn 8, still trying to find the limit of grip at the moment in the changeable conditions. As we take a little lift through Pouan, but we're able to mostly keep our foot in. The surprise exit of Q1 was definitely Lando Norris in the McLaren. The car we battled so hard around Hungary was knocked out down in 16th. So he's going to have some work to do during the race tomorrow. But this is a track where you definitely can overtake, and there could be grid penalties for the race, as this is a track that is favored as we are flat out through Blanchimont. It's a track that's favored for taking engine components. So we have a little bit of a lockup into the bus stop. We do have a pretty good exit to the line, and that's good enough for second for the moment. Are you kidding me? We are dropped all the way down to 11th. We are knocked out by Gasly in the Alpine by 900ths of a second. Oh, that's disappointing. Our teammate is also knocked out down in 14th. So it looks like we'll have some work to do tomorrow. Let's head to the grid.
Welcome then, as we take a step back into the nostalgic golden days of motorsport. Spa is unashamedly a throwback, and all the better for it. Climbs, drops, sharp turns, chicanes, sweeping high-speed corners, all while taking in some of the most beautiful scenery that Europe has to offer. This might sound like a travel brochure, but it's not. It's a race day. Welcome along to Spa Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix. Spa Francorchamps then, a historic 19-corner circuit with a lap distance of 4.35 miles. There's over 100 meters of elevation change here, and with long stretches of the lap spent flat out, a good top speed will be vital for success. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Sainz, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Russell, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Stroll, Gasly, Haas, Ricciardo, Albon, Hulkenberg, Joe, Norris, Sargent, Ocon, Tsunoda, and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
I'm not sure how good of a race tire the softs are going to be, so I think we're going to go with the soft hard. That way we can pit early if we need to, if the softs aren't working. Also, on a side note, because of a game crash during this race. I have no replays before lap 17. So most of this race is going to be shown from my perspective.
Okay, how was that pull away? You'll have a bit more grip than that on the start, but we need to warm the tyres properly now. Make sure you get some heat into the brakes as well.
And the 5 red lights. The Belgian Grand Prix is underway. We get a pretty good launch in relation to Gasly, as we're going to try to go up the inside into La Source. A little bit of a lockup. We do get through on Gasly as we go side by side with Piastri. McLaren's able to get a slightly better exit and pull back ahead. But we are up into the points. Hulkenberg also got past Gasly. As those two go side by side through Eau Rouge Radion, our teammate Gasly continue to battle down the Kemmel Straight. And ahead of us, Russell and Stroll are battling for 7th and 8th. And they're going to go side by side into Les Comps. And they slow each other down significantly. We nearly run into the back of Piastri, but it did allow us to stay close without using too much of our battery, as we are still above 90%. As we go into Bruxelles, that fight between Stroll and Russell continues as they go side by side through the corner with no name. And as we head down the hill towards Pouan, which driver's going to back out? It's Russell. Stroll pulls ahead up into 7th, dropping the Mercedes down to 8th. And on lap 2, Piastri's fallen out of the DRS of Russell, opening an opportunity for us to attack down the Kemmel Straight. Piastri goes defensive to the inside, but he's harvesting battery. And we're going to go around the outside into Les Comps. And we are through up into 9th. And now we need to try to break the DRS and see if we can get Hulkenberg past Piastri as well. And at the same time, get back to within a second of Russell and Stroll. We need to get up to the back of that train before they can use the DRS to get too far ahead of us. We were able to get into Russell's DRS using most of our battery last lap in Sector 3. So we have joined the back of the lead DRS train. So I'll use this lap to recharge our battery a little bit, stay close, and then try to start moving our way forward through this train. Looking at the mini-map, the Ferraris are running 1-2 currently. That upgrade package they brought seems to be working well for them. Can they keep up this hot start to this race? This could be a very big result for them in a very tight battle in the Constructors' race, as Ferrari, Mercedes, and Aston Martin are all separated by only 37 points in the battle for second. We head down towards the bus stop chicane, right on the back of Russell. We are very briefly able to set the fastest lap as we dive up the inside of Russell into La Source, make a little bit of contact on the exit. Russell tries to hang around the outside, but we are through up into 8th. And as we head towards Eau Rouge and Radion, we are able to create a little bit of a gap to Russell and stay within the DRS of Stroll without burning any extra battery. So those low wings that we wrestled with in qualifying yesterday are definitely paying dividends for us in the race today.
Okay, mate, our fuel usage rate is higher than we need it to be, so please let's try and back off a little bit and make it last.
Mark is worried about our fuel consumption, but we still have over 2 laps extra fuel at the moment. Continuing our move forward, we are pushing Stroll through Eau Rouge and Radion. Stroll goes defensive to the inside, and then he aggressively chops across down the Kemmel Straight. We're going to use a little bit of extra battery as Stroll also has the DRS. But he's no match for our straight line speed, and we are through up into 7th, and Hamilton in the Mercedes becomes our next target. Look at the mini-map and how tightly packed everyone is. This is by far the closest the entire field has been over a race all season, as it's taken us a couple laps, but we have finally caught up to the back of Hamilton, close enough that we could make a move. But we get a ton of wheel spin off the exit.
Great stuff, mate. You hit the target well there. Nice one. It's a long way to go in this race, though, so keep it.
We're going to dive up the inside of turn 1.
We're going to box this lap and push hard on the in-lap.
And we are through on Hamilton. As we get ready to make our pit stop, these softs have started to feel very secondhand. As we head down the Kemmel Straight, Verstappen is watching as the two drivers closest to him in the title chase battle it out over third and fourth, as Alonso and Perez go side by side through Les Comps, slowing each other down dramatically and giving us the idea to maybe go up the inside of Verstappen into the long right-hander of Rivage. But I decide we're not quite close enough to make such an aggressive move. Maybe some experience that we didn't have earlier in the season kicking in as we go through Blanchiment, heading towards the bus stop. Will any of the other drivers ahead of us pit as well? Looks like Leclerc and the Ferrari is coming in, but everybody else in front of us carries on. So could we possibly pull off an undercut on those cars in front of us? We'll need a good stop from the team, and we'll need to push on the outlap. But this could work out really well for us, as the rest of the field is on really old softs.
There seems to have been a problem removing the right rear wheel. We need to try and put it behind us though, and let's finish this race strong.
Never mind, so much for the undercut.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
As we have a nearly 5-second pit stop from the team, so our job just got significantly harder as we come out in 18th, 5.6 seconds behind Leclerc. We were probably 3 seconds behind Leclerc coming into the pits.
Mate, we need to save up some ERS, so let's focus on charging it up, please.
I'm about to have a Verstappen yelling at GP moment in real life here, as I'm burning extra battery to try to make up for the time you guys cost me during my pit stop.
So your ERS is running a bit low. Look into changing your ERS mode in the MFD for a more conservative burn rate, or you might want to try some lifting or gentle braking to recharge.
Hamilton, who's just come out of the pits right in front of us on the cold mediums, is giving us the DRS, and he is harvesting battery early in the straight. We're completely out of battery. We have a little bit of a lockup and run a little bit deep into the Les Comps chicane, but we're able to make the corner and improve up into 10th.
The car ahead's come in to fit the mediums. Car ahead now running medium tyres.
And it looks like I might have been the only one that went soft hard. And based on how long the softs went, the medium might have been a better shout. I guess we'll find out towards the end of the race, as more of the other drivers are coming in for their stops. We'll see where we filter out. Oh, and we lock the rears into La Source, and that's going to give Hamilton the opportunity to try to go around the outside. We're side by side as we head towards Eau Rouge. We're going to be patient and back out of it, and we get a lot of understeer in the dirty air of Hamilton. He goes to the inside, but with DRS, he's a sitting duck. As we move up into fourth, half a second behind Alonso for third. So even with the slow pit stop, we are still within range of a podium, kind of in spite of our team. I think we need to work on changing the culture a little bit. No more saving battery, lift and coast, slow pit stops. We're the smallest team. We're just happy to be here. No, we need to show the other teams that we're here to win every race and that they can trust their drivers to know when to push and when not to. As we're in Alonso's DRS here, but I'm not burning excessive battery. I'm saving it for the next lap. And a podium around an iconic track like Spa would be huge for the team. And the deeper we get into this race, the better my tires should be in comparison to Alonso and Hamilton, and even Russell, who's right there as well.
Take button more. It's time to utilize some of this energy. Come on. Gap to your teammate behind, 6.7 seconds.
And it does look like Hülkenberg is in the points right now, which would be huge. We could really use the help in the constructors battle, as I'm trying to decide if I want to overtake Alonso this lap or wait one more lap. When we do overtake him, we're going to have to try to run and break the DRS to the cars behind. We open the DRS, tuck into the slipstream, and Alonso is harvesting very early on the straight. So we're going to use a little bit of battery, go up the inside, And we are through into the Les Champs chicane. Onto the podium.
Okay, good work. Great pass.
And we were able to break the DRS to Alonso last lap. And third is probably the best we can hope for here, as the Ferraris are nearly 7 seconds ahead with only 7 laps remaining in the race. Where has this Ferrari pace been all season long? They've only won 1 race, and that was Imola with Sainz. And barring any mishaps, they're going to nail down a 1-2 around Spa. Can this be a race that Ferrari built upon for the last 5 races of the season, lock down second in the Constructors, and finish this season strong? And we have a yellow flag.
Okay, clear.
What's the yellow flag for? Oh, it looks like Alonso is retiring, and Alonso is out. He was running in 3rd or 4th for most of this race, and more importantly, he was ahead of Verstappen, and this may well be curtains on Alonso's shot at the title. I get overtaken by Hamilton down the start-finish straight, and I'm side by side with Russell into La Source. We have a little bit of a lockup, and that lets Russell through. So a little bit of backstory here. My gas pedal stopped working right after Blanchimont on the last lap, so I had to unplug it and reset my console, and that's why we have replays from here on out, but not before, as we are all over the back of Russell, side by side down the Kemmel Straight, and Hamilton moves over to cover off his own teammate, and we are going to go around the outside of both Mercedes. Hamilton just opened the door for us by blocking off his own teammate.
Cars in one go. Great job. Really impressive.
Not gonna lie, I was driving very angry at this point in time, so that double overtake felt really good to get back up into 3rd, but now we have to try to break the DRS again. My little technical snafu also allowed the Ferraris to run even further ahead, although it's kind of irrelevant. They were far enough ahead that we weren't gonna catch them anyway. As we go through the Fagnes chicane, Hamilton dancing around in our mirrors, looking to put the pressure on as we go into Stavelot. And we run a little bit wide and get into the gravel, and that stupid mistake is going to give Hamilton the opening he needs to go back through as Hamilton weaves about. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he was trying to break the toe as we head down towards the bus stop. Hamilton locks the front, but he's able to get the car turned in. We try to make a move around the outside. Russell tries to go up the inside. We get a little bit of wheel spin on the exit, and Hamilton manages to stay ahead down into La Source. 4 laps remaining as we head up the hill, right behind Hamilton for 3rd. Hamilton goes defensive to the inside, but with the DRS, we are able to sweep around and through into Les Champs, back onto the podium, and seeing Verstappen all the way down in 8th makes that DNF even more heartbreaking for Alonso, as Hamilton is using a lot of battery on the exit of Stavelot, down towards Blanchimont, going for the move up the inside. We are side by side through Blanchimont. He runs us a little bit wide. Russell's gonna try to get on the action as well, as Hamilton's able to hold on to 3rd. Russell gets pinched to the inside through the bus stop, and that gives Stroll an opportunity down the start-finish straight, as they are gonna go side by side through turn 1. And Stroll's gonna just manage to nip ahead up into 5th. Ferrari has to be loving what they're seeing. Aston Martin down a car, and their closest rivals in the Constructors, Mercedes, having a car drop further back. As I took a tactical risk on this lap, deciding not to overtake Hamilton, but to recharge my battery. But it would have turned out not to matter, as Hamilton has pulled up slow, handing us the position for free just a few corners later, and the news just keeps getting better and better for Ferrari at the front, as another one of their rivals has to park it up, and Ferrari luck out in another regard. That could have very easily been a safety car and wiped out their huge lead at the front. With just 2 laps left, Stroll makes an audacious move around the outside right before Eau Rouge, basically either forcing me to concede the position or go side by side through Eau Rouge and Radion. And he got the DRS, forcing me to use most of my battery just to maintain my position ahead of Russell. And this battle will also determine the winner of our rivalry with Stroll, as our teammate goes around the outside of Ricciardo, improving up into 9th, as on the penultimate lap, Stroll goes defensive down the Kemmel Straight. We use the DRS to go around the outside.
The car in front, 0.5 seconds.
Back onto the podium. Will overtaking him on this lap, however, leave us vulnerable on the final lap. We have a slight lockup in Ravage as I'm pushing hard to get away from the Aston Martin, create as big of a gap as I possibly can. Down the Kemmel Straight one more time. Stroll does have the DRS. I'm dumping all the battery we have, weaving around trying to break the toe. And we managed to stay ahead, at least for the DRS zone, as we keep it clean through Les Camps. And we're far enough ahead that he can't make a move into Ravage. And if we can keep it clean through Sector 2, Stroll will have one more real opportunity through Blanchimont and down into the bus stop. As the Ferraris come towards the bus stop chicane, finishing off a dominant performance, it'll be Carlos Sainz who takes the checkered flag ahead of Leclerc. Sainz with his 2nd win of the season. As we come through Blanchimont, completely drained our battery, but we've been able to fend off Stroll. And as we come through the final chicane, we get a bit of wheel spin on the exit, but we are going to take home a podium in Spa.
Yes, nice work, mate. You did a really good job today. Pretty sure the boss is going to be happy with that one.
So 3rd in a podium, just ahead of Stroll at the line, and driver of the day.
Here's the checkered flag, and here's our race winner today. What a smooth operation it was for Carlos Sainz.
I know every race has equal importance in terms of points, but when you get to this part in the championship, it's clearly on your mind as you're looking to see how far up the order you can finish. And races like this certainly help that.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari.
So Sainz becomes the 3rd driver to win multiple races this season, behind Russell and Verstappen. And it's a big day for the Italian team, finishing 1-2 and all Ferrari power units on the podium around Belgium. And that's our 5th podium, plus 1 sprint podium around Austria. So a huge result for us and the team, as our teammate is able to grab a point in 10th, losing out 9th to Ricciardo in the end. Verstappen gets let off the hook for a mediocre 7th place finish, with Alonso retiring and Perez only able to finish 6th, gaining only 2 points on his teammate in the Drivers' Championship, which Verstappen leads by 50 points over us and Perez. And I don't consider ourselves in the Drivers' Championship. I was more worried about the Constructors this season, if that tells you how big of a lead it is, as we move to within 8 points of McLaren for 5th place in the Constructors, and Ferrari extends their lead to 19 over Mercedes. As we get a new accolade for top 10 finishes with that podium finish around Belgium. And we pull even in points with Perez in our rivalry. Perez is underperforming a little bit. It's closer than it should be when you compare the cars. And our rating gets a nice boost with another solid performance, outperforming our teammate. Hitting a 76 overall rating, approaching 80 now, extending our lead over Hulkenberg to 6 percentage points in the recognition. I think we are clearly now the #1 driver within the team. And we did meet all of our specialist goals for the weekend. Still a couple points short of reaching level 1 with the power unit consultant, which is surprising considering we have the best engine on the grid. We'll get there. I might have to make him my primary specialist to get some extra points. We'll get into that next episode when we head to the Italian Grand Prix following the summer break in game. Another track that should suit the characteristics of our car with its straight line speed. Anyway guys, that's all I got for this week. I'll see you next week at the Italian Grand Prix of Monza. Goodbye.